What is it going to take to get you to the next level of success in your business, in your MLM, in your network marketing, whatever it may be? Hello everyone, Baxter Cribbs here with you of Training with Baxter. Welcome once again to Facebook Live here this evening. We want to continue this evening talking about the success acceleration, if you will. I learned some of this just as I started last night, a little review of a training I went through with Brendon Burchard. And he talked about the things, and we'll go over that in just a second here to get to a point. And he goes on into a list of stuff of what to do to make it better. We're going to cover just one of those things tonight, and the things that I learned and seen and wanted to be able to share with you and give you my takeaway from these things, because a very bright man, very, very bright. And he's been doing that a long time. He's very successful in that. And I can see all the points he talks about and everything else I've been studying out here in regards of being successful and moving ahead. All these things start to come together every time you hear a piece from here, some over here, a little bit down there. And this one says it that way, and it clicks a little better. Anyway, and that's where I'm at, and I'm going through those things, and I want to share that with you this evening. So let us get started just a little bit here. Let me turn this down. I think we're kind of in the shade right here. I'm not sure really why, but it looks like to me that this part of my board here is in the shade, but it may not be. It just might be me looking at the phone. I don't really know. Anyway, okay, we'll continue on because we can see it. As we started out last night, he was talking about being able to move up to the next level, but he covered a little bit of a background first of all, and we'll do that very quickly here. He said, first of all, you got to have these three. We've seen these three things in our business when we first started off, or whatever we was trying to accomplish. Doesn't have to be a business, okay? Could have been any goal you were after. These things still applied to that, okay? And so we started off, and he said you got to have a desire, or you had a desire to get somewhere, and that is you knew what it was that you wanted, okay? Most people never get here, and Bob Proctor says he believes everybody knows what they want. They simply give up on it before they actually get it wrote out and understand what it is and search it out clearly to know what they want to do. So this is what he said. You have a desire, you want to get somewhere, you want to accomplish something. He said, and then you realize in that desire you had to have some knowledge about what you want to do, how to get there as well. So you put in the effort to study. You got books, you got videos, you got mentors, you got coaches, you got all sorts of things, and you studied. You put in that time, you sit down, you done, as he called it, the grind of whatever it was, of studying what these things were, getting out, if it was prospecting, if it was making campaigns, if it was writing blog posts, if it was doing videos, if it was doing whatever it was that you were doing. It might have been going house to house and having the meetings that so many people sometimes dread and some don't. But, either way, that might have been what it was as well. But these are the three things he said that people go through when they first start out, because they have the desire. They know you got to study, and you know you got to put in the grind. As he gives an example, when you go to lose weight or get in shape and you go to the gym and you work out your first day and you work out your second day or your third day, and then all of a sudden you're sore all over, and you accept that and you say, I know that this has to be part of it. I got to get past a certain point. And he says what you recognize is that this is part of a struggle that we're going through when we're going through these things here. And the reason is because this is the first time you started out in this level, wherever it might be. It might have been your very first time of trying to learn something, of trying to achieve a business, get a business started, to get whatever. Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a business, okay? But most people, as I'm hoping speaking to people here who are business oriented and who want to move ahead in a business, make themselves better, because I believe that's, as many times I've heard, that it's 80% mindset, 20% is the rest of it, and which is the activities you put forth in your business. And also, and I'll say this again as I picked this up from somebody, a couple people, I heard it first from Ray Higdon. I don't know actually where it came from, but he said a network marketing business is simply, it is a self-improvement program that happens to come with a product. And I like that because that's exactly what that is. You have the product, you have the service, but you got to get you. You got to get you where you need to be in order to move ahead, because you want to be that strong person, that strong leader of whatever sort you are. And leaders come in many different forms, but you want to get there. And so you've recognized then that you had a desire. You learned you had to study. You learned how to do the grind. And they call that a struggle because now you don't have a pattern to get somewhere. And so you're struggling. And so, you know, as you're going, many times we want to get to the next level to be in a straight line. But it never is. It never really is. You can get something more consistent. But most of the time our struggle, our line goes like this here, as we're going all over the place trying to figure out what to do, getting distracted, pulled here, pulled there. And so finally, we make it to a level, okay, the first level, and now we're going to get to a second level. And this is where he gets into, as he showed us, as we talked about last night, he said the number one mistake that people make whenever they start their business and they go through this here is that once they get to this here level, the first level, they think, I don't have to struggle no more. Hey, I've done this, I've done that. You know, I've thrown 100 touchdowns, I've run 100, I've done this over here. You know, I've got 500 leads. I've done all these things. I shouldn't have to struggle no more. He said that is the number one mistake that entrepreneurs make as they're moving up the ladder. They think once they get to a certain level that life just levels off. But then, and it might do, if you want to stay on that plateau is what he's saying. Okay, you can do that if you so choose. But if you're wanting to move up, what then is the question here? What is needed to move up to the next level? I didn't have enough room to write it all out, so I just thought I'd abbreviate that for you. And so this is what we want to look at. And he gave 3 things, but we're not going to do 3 things because he took 30 minutes to do 3 things. I got a few minutes left here to be able to stay within a time frame that I've set for myself. That's a goal, because I could talk forever sometimes on things. But once you learn what the mistake is, okay, which is thinking you don't have to do this anymore. But at the next level, there are some other things you have to get in your mind, in your activities. And the very first thing, and I didn't have give my marker here, the first thing he talked about that you have to do, you have to recognize, is to move to another level, is that you have to get another set of skills. I wrote that backwards. I'm writing backwards anyway, so I kind of messed that up. Another set of skills. There we go. How's that look? Anyway, you get the idea. So the idea is that we have to get down here. We studied here to get a certain set of skills because we had a desire to move up. We had to learn this here. When we go to another level, there's another level of skill sets to learn. Even the people who have made it into the 7, 8 figures, they have to learn another set of skills. Some of the one of the groups that I belong to, the mentors there the other day had the man who where Rich Dad Poor Dad came from. And he, in his mentoring and mentoring these people who are already making 8 figures a year and more, says, here's what you need to do. Here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do over here to make all these things work and move to the next level. So everybody, regardless of where you are, you have to learn something new for the next level because you can't get there without that. So what are some of the skills that you might need? And he goes over some of those things. He covers, he says that for him to get to the next level that he had to do, he had to learn video marketing. And that's something that many people have to learn. And many people are afraid to get in front of a camera and talk to people that they can't see on the other side. But yet we know you're over there. And so you have to learn how to do those things. And for him, this was something he had to do because he had started 19 years ago. And videos was fairly new. Now you just turn your phone on, mash a couple of buttons, type in a header, get you a whiteboard or not, and you begin to share your knowledge with people. And so he had to learn that. For us, it might be blogging, it could be writing Facebook ads, it could be writing Google ads, it could be any kind of ad like that. It could be learning copywriting, it could be learning people skills, it could be learning social skills. And I was just on an hour and a half long coaching program a while ago, where I was listening as they went through, people was looking at their ads and critiquing and telling them what to do. And there was one person, he said, you're stuck here. You're stuck on this one thing, this 20 cent of worrying about where this changed that here, when you should be learning more skill sets and adding more strategies to your lessons or to your overall picture, so that you move ahead, because you're getting bogged down in the weeds. He was telling him there's other skill sets to learn than worrying about 20 cents on an ad. Let the ad run and develop something else while this is working over here, because if all you have is an ad to run in your business, and that's what you're depending on to make your money, whenever the ad fails, where are you? We get the idea. So there are more skill sets out there now. And so Brendon Burchard says, okay, look at yourself, sit down and decide where you're going to go. Okay, if you're going to reach another level, let's see what I can reach up here. If you're going to go for another level up here, you're going to become a star in whatever business you're in, which is the next level. Could be, associates, could be a rank advancement of any sort. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever it is, you know what it is. To get there, what do you have to do? What do you have written down for the next 3 months, next 6 months, next 10 months, or 12, or whatever, that says, here's the skills I'm going to learn, and here's how I'm going to learn them, so that I'm continuously moving ahead each time. Now, there's more things he had in line, but skills is the first one we want to talk about. So what is it? If you sit down and took a piece of paper, and he gave us a piece of paper to work with that had about 20 questions on it, and you're supposed to sit down and write these things out. Another group that I'm a part of, that the lady, my coach, shared, and she said, this is what you got to do, Baxter, because not too long ago, I got stuck, okay? And I'm trying to come out of get unstuck, because there was a lot of things that happened in life at one time. I spoke about that, and it all just piled in, and it wasn't a bad thing, but it caused me to pull away from what I was trying to achieve here with my business, because that had to happen first, okay? And so whenever I fell down, and she's like, go back over here to this lesson, sit down, write these things out, get it in front of you where you can see it, and then add to that every day. Brendon does the same thing. He said, here's a sheet of questions. Sit down, write it out, look at it, learn what you got to have. Make this plan. Even if it changes, start off with a plan. What skill sets are you going to have to learn to get to this next point that you want to get to? He said if you don't have it written down, and he said that's what he finds many times, 50% of the people that he coaches, and he says, what skill sets are you learning over the next 6 months? And they have no idea. And if you have no idea, you're not going to move ahead. You're not going to get anywhere. You got to learn something. You got to figure out what's needful to get to where you want to go. What is your desire of the next level? And you got to go find that study. You got to develop that skill, put in the time into it, because you're going to have struggles, and you got to have struggles, because every new set, something comes up is new. And you're going to learn those things, and then you want to share that with people. One of the people said tonight, what are you doing to help others? And to me, the helping others is, as I am here, offering the value that I have just learned from this man who has learned it and who is now passing it on. And it's something that you pay for to learn, because people have developed that, and they can tell you, you got to know your skills. Before you move ahead, you have to decide what skills you need. You got to put them in a list, and then you have to start learning them. Start putting them to work, making them a priority throughout your day, blocking out your time to learn that, taking control of your priorities. That's something else he talks about in the next thing. And we know these things. We know what they are. We don't do it. As he says, and another guy says as well, common sense is not always common practice, is it? Of course not. We have common sense about a lot of things, but we don't do it. We know common sense says you ought to eat and take care of your health so you can live a long time. Many of us don't do that. It's not common practice. We practice a little while and then we get away from it. We've got to do it consistently. So, I want to end tonight here, this short video, of asking you, because we'll come back tomorrow night and go to the next stage that he shared with us. And what skill sets do you have? What skill sets do you need to acquire to move up here? That's the question. That's the question. And that's not the only question, but that's the starting point to sit down, because now you have to figure that out. Where am I going, and what will it take to get there? Do I have to learn accounting? Do I have to learn math? Whatever it might be. You know, there's so many places, because I don't know where you are. And you got to figure out where you are, and you got to figure out where you're going, or you're never going to get there. That's one of my blog posts that I put up as well. Because that's a fact. You have to constantly watch where you are. And say, okay, now I need to move here. Now I got to go here. Now I got to go here. And that's consistent growth. A little bit each and every day will bring huge results in the end, my friends. My friends, I hope this has been helpful to you. Figure out what skill sets you got to have to get you to the next level in your business, the next level of success, whatever that may be. And it might be a small thing that might take only 2 or 3 weeks. You still got to learn whatever skill it takes. Is it prospecting? Is it having posture? Is it doing blog posts? Whatever. Write it down. Figure out where you're going to get it from. Start getting it. My friends, thank you for stopping by. This is Baxter, Training with Baxter. And if you found this valuable, please indeed share this with other people that they can learn as well. Invite them to come over to the page, if you will. And we will see you again tomorrow night. Learn what skills it takes to move you to the next level. Thank you.